The Trojan baseball team has their first road series of the year this weekend in what has become a good series over the last few years. The Trojans will be in action at Southern Miss this weekend. Troy is 10-12 all-time against the Golden Eagles, but did take 2 of 3 last season at Riddle Pace. Troy enters at 6-3, while the Golden Eagles are 4-5, coming off a pair of midweek wins against Alcorn State and Alabama. The pitching for the Trojans will be what is projected as the starting rotation, with Tanner Hicks on the mound Friday night, Shane McCain getting the nod in Game 2 on Saturday, and Will Starling taking the hill on Sunday. But pitching isn't what has head coach Bobby Pierce concerned.
The quality of our at-bats has been terrible. We've got what we think could be a pretty decent offensive team, but we're just throwing away at-bats with poor at-bat after poor at-bat. We might sprinkle in a quality at-bat or two during an inning, and then we'll just give the inning away with a couple of really, really poor at-bats. And that consistency and that focus and that determination we have got to improve. We work all the time on two-strike approach, and we're not applying that yet. So easier said than done, but it's what good teams do. So for us to be a good team, we're going to have to get better in that area.
Then on Tuesday, the Trojans return home for their first home midweek game of the season as the Trojans take on Samford. The Bulldogs are 3-4 this season, but this will be their first road game of the season. Tuesday's game will be at 6 p.m. And the Trojans softball team will be competing at the Eagle Classic over the weekend, facing a former Sunbelt team and a future Sunbelt foe. The action begins for Troy on Friday as they take on former conference rival Middle Tennessee State, then Georgia Southern immediately after. Saturday, Troy will take on Tennessee State, then Georgia Southern again before wrapping up tournament action on Sunday at 9 against Middle Tennessee. The Trojans have winning records against all 3 schools, including a 15-0 record against Tennessee State. But just last weekend, Troy lost 4-3 to Georgia Southern. The men's basketball team will be on the road Saturday, rounding out the road schedule in Monroe, Louisiana. The Trojans will take on the Warhawks at 4 on Saturday with a quick turnaround after a Thursday contest and the travel to Monroe. The Warhawks are just ahead of the Trojans in the standings with 3 games left on the slate. UL Monroe is 6-9 in the league, whereas the Trojans are 4-11. Head coach Phil Cunningham knows his team has a tough challenge ahead.
We just gotta find a way to muster up some energy. It's an extremely tough travel. You know, getting over to Monroe tomorrow. It's an early game. They're going to have some confidence coming off a win and sort of separating themselves from the pack. So we'll just see. You know, we've got 6 seniors in that locker room that, you know, this is it for them. If they want to go to New Orleans, you know, we've got to find a way to muster up enough energy to go down there, fight and claw, and try to get a road win.
Then on Thursday, the Trojans return home to face UT Arlington, who is 7-8 in the league. That contest will be at 7 p.m. in Trojan Arena. Troy lost a close one at UT Arlington on a last-second shot by the Mavs. Let's take a look back at the ending of that one.
On top, Williams got squared. Oh, baby! With 14 seconds left, that was an NBA 3. Mavs do not have a timeout. 8 seconds, 7, now Dowell along 3. Oh, what an answer! 6 seconds to go.
Should foul him.
Williams along 3. Nope, and that will do it.
The women's basketball team will be in action at Louisiana Monroe as well for their final road test of the season. The Trojans suffered an 83-72 defeat when the Warhawks were in town earlier this season and will look to even the series for the year. The Warhawks are currently 6-9 in the league, while Troy is 7-8. The Trojans are currently in 6th place with 3 games remaining before the conference tournament. The Trojans will then return home on Wednesday night for a showdown with UT Arlington. The Trojans blazed past the Mavericks back in January with an 85-62 victory in Arlington. The Mavs are at the bottom of the league in the team's first season in the Sun Belt with a 3-12 conference record. The Mavericks have only won 4 games this season with a 4-22 record overall. The women's tennis team will be in action at the Lunsford Tennis Complex over the weekend. Kennesaw State will be on campus Friday afternoon, then Troy will play host to Sunbelt opponent Arkansas State on Sunday at noon. For the men, they will hit the road this weekend and play at Southern Miss Friday afternoon before playing Lamar on Saturday at noon. Both matches for the men's team will be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And the women's golf team will be back in action on Sunday at the Edwin Watts Kiowa Spring Classic in South Carolina. The tournament will run from Sunday through Tuesday. The men will have the weekend off before hitting the links again on March 10th. Well, that's all the time we have for Trojan Sports Now. Check us out online at the Troy University YouTube page to catch anything you missed. I'm Danielle Percival. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Trojans.
Trojan Sports Now.